All right, so we're halfway through winter. We're slowly ramping up towards spring. That means we need to start preparing for things. And that really comes down to what you did in fall and how well you can transition very quickly into the spring. And a lot of the stuff that we do is mainly outside, so we don't really do anything in the house. Everything is mostly in greenhouse and everything outside. So fall cleanup, obviously cleaning up all the vegetation, cleaning out the beds, getting everything ready to plant as soon as the weather would allow for it. And so many people talk about things to do, and I think one of the things that isn't as appreciated as much is the dirt or the compost that you put down. So we do no-dig gardening. So we're just going to put compost on top of our already compost beds. But one thing that we tend to not think about is the fact that cold weather tends to freeze everything. So back here we make all of our compost. So all the finished compost goes into the finished compost bins, and everything over here is in the composting stage, or done, just needs to be filtered. So if I want to then take all my dirt or my compost onto the beds when it comes in about 2 or 3 weeks, I need something that is movable. And once winter is playing the way it is now, very cold, it is as hard as a rock. So all of these bins are just one big ice box. That's anticipated. I knew that going into this. It's away from the sun, really. It's hitting it right now, but only for a couple hours a day. But essentially top down, definitely the top is going to be the most frozen, because the water sits on here. The cold temperatures then freeze it, and it's somewhat insulated from the boards themselves. So this will probably take until April or May to fully defrost. So if I wanted to use this dirt, because I'm doing no-dig gardening, I'm gonna have an issue. Which then I prepare other compost like this. So this is in the composting stage. This is going to have the tarp to not allow the water to get in. I also insulate it with some leaves, some grass. Now if I dig into this, now we have compost ready to go. So this is still in the composting phase. I'm not planning to fully get compost over winter, but if I needed to filter this out really quickly, I would be able to get enough compost for that. So you can have that option if you are planning on using any sort of compost in the spring. You have to take into account the weather will play other ideas for you. So you have one method of just restricting all sort of water. If you have dirt outside, that it will just play in later on. And even if you don't plan on using your own compost, you still have to get it from somewhere. And if you were to go to Home Depot or Lowe's right now, you'd probably be picking up bags of concrete. So that's why before fall ends, I make sure to make all of the soil mix. So when I'm ready to go, and I do everything outside, so that's why this is I have to do this. This is the nursery, so everything has to be prepared outside. I don't do any of the dirt inside. So I'm ready to go in about 2-3 weeks. I can start using my wind strip trays. I can put all that dirt in there, seed, and do everything and be done with it. So when taking that into account with your fall, think of when you're going to start, think of the dirt that you need, and making sure that it is usable, workable dirt rather than solid concrete, because that's not going to be workable for what you need to do. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to do some things in the greenhouse. We're slowly getting there. We usually go after mid-February to start doing our seeding, and we'll update from there.